Hi everyone, I'm RochelleStone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be telling you my personal college tips on how you can graduate with an exceedingly high GPA. I graduated with a 3.97, somewhere in there. It was supposed to be a 4.0, but one of my grade change paperworks hasn't gone through yet for a particular class. But once that goes through, then I'll have a 4.0. So I can lay down the groundwork for you. I got you. I'm gonna give you the tips. I'm gonna give you the tricks. All right, so I went to Clark Atlanta University. I graduated with my bachelor's in science, in psychology. Oh Lord. I graduated my bachelor in science and psychology and a minor in biology, and graduated summa cum laude. First tip, take notes. You absolutely, definitely need to take notes. You need to take notes on your classes. You need to take notes on the books that you have to read. You need to take notes on important phone numbers, important people that you're gonna have to contact. Yeah, you're gonna need to take notes. That is absolutely 100% important, and not just in the classroom. You have to take notes on basically everything in college. That way you can remember it, because when you get in college, if your memory wasn't bad before you got in, it's gonna be in shambles by the time you get out. Write everything down. If you need to record things, like make little voice notes, make those voice notes. What I did was, in class, because I knew I wasn't going to remember everything my lecturer told me, and I definitely wasn't going to be able to write everything down, because some lecturers, they lecture extremely fast. So the best way that I figured out how to do this is I use OneNote, and you can voice record. Now, if you have like a tablet or something, you can actually video record, but I didn't have that capability on my computer, like to flip it around and record. I didn't want to do all that. So I voice recorded all of my lectures, especially in those classes where I knew it was a lot of very, very critical and important information, and it was very tedious information. I know some professors do note checks to make sure you actually took notes on the material that you're supposed to. So yeah, take your notes. Don't take notes for granted. You will go back and study your notes. You absolutely will do that. You will be going through your study guides. If your teachers provide study guides, you will be going through your study guides and going through your notes at the same time, trying to find the answers. You most definitely will. And if your teachers do open note exams, which doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. If your teachers do open note exams, you are going to love those notes. So take good notes. Don't skip out on notes. If you miss a class, ask somebody else for their notes. Don't miss out on the notes. Get a close personal relationship with your professors. Now, when I say close and personal, I don't mean we're not trying to end up in the news, okay? I just mean be able to speak with your professors. Be friendly enough with them. I know some people in larger colleges or universities, that's kind of difficult to do, but make an effort. It will help them remember you. It will help them know that, hey, this student is taking a real interest and is really trying to do well. When teachers see you're trying to do well, they'll more likely put in effort to try and help you if you're struggling. Even if you're not struggling, they might give you a little extra little pat on the back. If you're not struggling, they could look out for you as far as internships are concerned. They could look out for you for job opportunities. They could even want to take you under their wing and be your mentor. You never know. So please, please get the relationships with your professors, your lecturers. I had quite a few professors that I was able to get close with, and I'm not necessarily a social person, so I didn't do much to get those connections with them. I just performed well in the class. I performed well enough where they were able to take notice and they noticed that I was a good student and they wanted to form that relationship with me themselves. And since I was a student athlete, I had to communicate with my teachers anyway, especially during like in season time when we had matches and I wouldn't be in class. So I make sure to tell, if you're an athlete especially, make sure you tell your professors. I know that a lot of athletic departments, they're supposed to send out notifications that you will not be in class. It goes a long way when you tell your teachers as well, instead of just relying on them to check their email that and see that you won't be in class and that is an excused absence. Go to sleep at night. During my first semester, during my first semester at Clark Atlanta, because I started at Georgia State. But during my first Clark Atlanta semester, I was making friends with my roommates and things like that, and we would go out to the parties. We'd be up to the crack of dawn, just sitting on the steps at the library. And believe me, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm not saying don't do that, because that's definitely a part of the college experience and you want to have fun and you want to have those experiences, definitely. But when it comes down to it and you need that rest, you need that extra time, it's busy time and you need to work, get some sleep at night. You're gonna have plenty of time to spend on all-nighters. Trust me. There would be times where I would go to sleep around 9 o'clock, wake up at 12 so I could continue to study for an exam that I had the next day. Please take your sleep very seriously. The last thing you need to be is sleep deprived in an already stressful situation. Yeah, don't do it to yourself. Go to bed. I know it's kind of, when you first get there, it's gonna be very difficult to do that because, hey, all my friends are staying out. Be the one to go to bed. Be the one to go to bed. Don't be up so late that you can't go to class the next morning, because trust and believe, a lot of these classes you actually need to go to. It's not the type of thing where, oh, I can just skip class, read the book, and I'll be fine. No, because in a lot of cases, well, in a lot of my cases, my professors didn't even use the book. They didn't use the textbook for real. So if they're not using the textbook that they put in the system as required text, you're just gonna be lost. You're gonna be lost. And no one wants to be lost, because then you're just sitting here like, what are they talking about? And then you go and test the test like, I don't know what's going on. And unless you're just a really, really, really good guesser, you need to be in class. So go to bed. Please go to bed. Know your weaknesses. You're not gonna have all the answers. You're not gonna just be great at everything. It's not possible. So I would say to know where you are lacking and find other people around you that can fill in those gaps. Whether that be your professor, whether that be a tutor, whether that be a peer, please know your weaknesses. In college, having those connections, especially with peers, and especially if you're in the same class, having those connections with each other is definitely important. It's important, okay? Because somebody else may understand something when you don't, and you may understand something when someone else doesn't. So know your strengths as well. So that way, if you feel the inclination to help people, be the one to help. Be there, be able to help. Do not take all your hard classes at one time. I know this is pretty simple. This should be pretty straightforward, but take a couple. I take about 1 to 2 of your difficult classes a semester, if that's possible. And then pad the rest of it up with easier classes, the classes that you can kind of ease through a little bit, because those couple of classes that are difficult, they're going to take a lot of time. They're going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of everything: energy, effort, time, all of that. So you're going to need some other classes that are kind of more relaxed, laying a little low, that you don't have to work extremely hard in. You're going to want those classes. The majority of the time, those classes are electives. Sometimes they can be your more like major classes. It could be something that you're just good at, so it's easier, Have a couple difficult, majority fluff, Okay. Of course, always have classes that are building up towards your major. You don't want to just have classes that don't mean anything to you. Um, but out of all of the classes, and if you have a difficult one, fluff the other ones. Be open to making friends. I'm not social. I'm not a social butterfly. I'm very much introverted. But it's good to at least be open to having those connections and not closing yourself off completely from having friends, because friends will really help you get through those tough days, and there will be tough days. There will be days where it's like nothing's clicking, and you just need a shoulder to cry on. You need somebody to lean on. Make those friendships. I'm not saying go out and look for them. Like, you don't have to go out searching for the friends. The friends that you need will most definitely come to you, if that's what it requires. So just be open to those relationships if they do come your way. Make time for yourself. Please make time for yourself. That's the one thing I really wish I would have done in college, was make more time for me. I didn't make too much time for myself unless it was during the breaks, like summer vacation or winter break. During the school year, I was doing so much that I would lose myself in all of the action. I would lose myself in all of the activities that I had going on, all of the work that I had to do. So it resulted in me not taking care of myself in the way that I know that I should, in the way that I would have liked to. So while it's very easy to get distracted from you, you have to make sure that you are a priority for yourself. If you make yourself a priority, you're less likely to be absolutely, completely drained. So yes, you have to have some me time. And me time means me time alone by myself. Nobody else. We're not going to a party. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna read a book for my own leisure, or whatever you like to do by yourself. If you like to draw, if you like to paint, if you like to just sing, if you like to go out in the nature, do whatever you have to do, and do it for you, with you. Do it with you. In certain academic settings, things can be slightly disorganized, to the point where you have to be the one that's organized. You have to have all your ducks in a row. Okay, you have to make sure you got all your paperwork together, make sure you got all your payments together, make sure you have all your schoolwork together, make sure you know when you submitted your assignments and who you submitted them to, things like that. Because sometimes things can get lost in the kerfuffle. Things can get lost in the mayhem. So make sure you at least are the one organized. You can't really control anyone else and what they're doing. So you stay organized, even though you're dealing with adults. Like adults. I know, like, you're in college, you know, you're an adult, like, hey, but like adults that have been adults for 50 years. Yeah, you keep your organization together. Don't ever depend on other people to be organized. You have to do that for yourself. You keep your paper trail. You got emails? Keep those emails. Do not delete correspondences that you have with other people, especially when it's something super duper important where things can get mixed up. Keep every piece of evidence you have, because that's all you have. You word of mouth. If somebody says something to you, get it in writing. Get everything in writing. Don't you have to watch your own back. You gotta cover your own butt, because no one else is gonna do it for you. So keep all evidence, keep all paper trails, keep all correspondences, all communication, everything. Keep it all. Actually study. I know a lot of the time that, you know, things can kind of just jump up on us like, oh, hey, I have an exam tomorrow and I haven't studied a lick. It happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us. if at all possible. And sometimes it's not always possible, but always stay prepared. If there's something that your professor is really telling you that you need to study and you really need to understand this material, make sure you understand it, because a lot of the times the professors will tell you exactly what's going to be on the exam. They'll say it like, hey, this is going to be on the exam, or they'll continuously repeat a topic or a concept. That's how you know. And the first exam is always going to be the scariest exam, because you never know what this professor's testing style is. So make sure you're prepared in any way possible. A lot of the times professors will tell you at least the format, whether it's multiple choice or short answer. Sometimes they won't, so just be prepared. I had a professor and I love him. I love that professor. But all of his tests were short answer or fill in the blank. There was not a single multiple choice question on those exams. Don't ever think about one, because there won't be one there. Yeah, no. And I always did well on them. So make sure you study. Make sure you study. Spend not just one day, not just the night before, spend days. Spend some days studying. One night of cramming isn't really gonna do anything for you. And on the occasion that it does, because I'm not gonna say it never helps you, but usually on the occasion where cramming the night before helps you, it's usually because you've already been retold the information so many times that when you can kind of look at it, you can kind of already know it. So I wouldn't rely on night before cramming. Not saying that it's not gonna happen, because it's going to happen. But if you can avoid it, just go ahead and study a good amount of time beforehand. You have to understand that in college, you absolutely do have to work hard. There are people that can float by or float through college, and they'll be just fine. But there are other people that they can't so much do that. They can't float through college and just be fine. They actually have to put some hard work and time and effort into it. So whatever you are doing in college, make sure you're putting your time and effort into it, because you're gonna have to. You're gonna need to. Even people that float through college, there are some things that they're gonna have to put their 100% into. So if you are one of those people that has to put their 100% into it, put your 100% into it, especially if you're striving for absolute excellence. Have fun. College is an experience, it's part of life. Please, by all means, live your life. Go to the parties, join the clubs, join the sports, do it all. Because why not? I mean, you're only in college for a certain period of time, so might as well do the things that you want to. I would just make sure you have your priorities in check. Always have your priorities in check. But make sure that you do have fun, because what's the point of going to college just to be crammed and to be stressed out all the time because of your classes? You have to balance. So find your balance. Know yourself and find your balance. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to have fun. All right, guys, these are my tips for graduating college with a high GPA. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because why not? If you also haven't already, check out my Twitch and all my socials. The links are in the description. Yeah, so I guess I will see you all next time, and hopefully I will see you all with your diplomas as well, as you see mine in the background back there. Yeah. Adios. Let me know if you want to see any other college related videos, since I did just get out, so I kind of know a little bit, you know. If you want some more of that type of content, let me know in the comments. And if you are in college, go ahead and put in the comments how you're liking your college experience. But yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for joining. Bye.